It's an allegory again. The angels restoring what we burn away. The devil comes yearning for her eternal flame. Burning inside. Girl, what's burning inside?
Oh Lord, guide me. Help me with this one. I don't know which way to go. I trust in you. What? Nothing. Good morning, kid. Good morning. 4:28 a.m. What was that all about? This is episode 9 of The Greatest Truth Ever Sold, May 9th, 2026. Good morning to you. Good morning. The burpee. Do what you have to do, get comfortable. This is going to be different. Ish. Yeah, ish. A lot of ish. And maybe some ick. And let me say it ahead of time to anyone listening, and thank you for, if you made it this far. Again, as I always say, this is episode 9 of a full series, full-on pod series that, or volume. This is volume 12, 15 or something, I forget. It's one contiguous or continuous thesis, so to speak. The greatest truth ever sold. And I'm not going to tell you, my friends, the audience, what that truth is literally, but I'm going to give you another clue. Mentally? On the meta of what that greatest truth ever sold is. Because, again, I'm going to leave a blank space there. I know exactly what it is. You might think it's one thing, you might think it's, this or maybe that. That's part of it. But, right, George, all great truths begin as blasphemies. I'm tiptoeing around something very, I don't know if it's powerful, but it's significant. I'm very confused. You won't be. Essentially, on the meta, I believe this episode, and oh boy, this episode. I've delayed. Yeah, you've had these tabs up and you keep, wow, holy tabs. Yeah, a lot of tabs. I'm not sure how to say what I need to say. And some of the ways that the transmission came in is very convoluted, confusing, and might be blasphemous. Okay. And I'm going to warn the viewer. If you are quick to be offended or insulted, pearl clutching. Oh, good. This ain't for you. This is where we get on our bellies again, but as kids, but almost as adults. Like, I need you to go there. If you're going to embrace this episode and take it for what it is, not what you think it is or what you want it to be, just what it is. We need to talk turkey. We need to really kind of say what needs to be said. We need to dissect it. I'm confused. You won't be. Because when the thesis, and I'm going to share what hit me at work at like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning. And I'm like, holy shit, we're really going to talk about this? We've talked in all these episodes, and this might be, I think there might be an episode 10 where I kind of look back and reflect on all of this. I have to. This is a very powerful, and I'm still trying to figure this all out, this series, this volume, 333, and kind of wrap it all together. I'm still even learning. There's things in this series. I mean, we've gone through Jesus and Trump and why we believe and all this stuff. We've talked a lot about being great and why we believe, and hey, are you this? Who knows? Hey kid, are you that? Yeah. Oh, okay, thanks. And then we've talked about I almost said that. Don't say that word because that kind of gives it away. Yeah. What you believe in the world, and what is this world? And we went kind of up into the ether about the universe, and we brought in our lady Sabrina. We've done a lot, and but we've kind of tiptoed around a truth that basically, my friends, it's all you. It's all you. This is not the greatest truth, though, but I understand why. Again, you're going to put whatever you want at Z for whatever I'm saying here as far as the greatest truth. Yeah, you're confused. I am. But I'm starting to understand what you're saying. But on the meta, it's not just, we've talked a lot about, the church and how it's kind of sold you a certain truth and why do you believe? Because you want to, blah, 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 right? Why do you believe? Here's the thing. We can't talk about the greatest truth and being sold. At the end of the day, we sell ourselves. We are in full control. I love the analogy of the vampire. Oh yeah, that's a really good one. Would you like to say it? Something about, if I heard it correctly, what you're trying to say is that if you replace vampire with a truth and the house with, well, your existence, there's a better way of saying it. Don't say that word. A certain word that kind of creates what you see and experience in this life. You must let that vampire in. As much as we'd like to say that other people are selling us and we're being presented all these things and whether or not you believe and blah, 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 at the end of the day, metaphorically speaking, you must allow the vampire into your head. And then what it does after that, well, kind of not up to you. And in many ways, one of the plagues of our society, being as connected as we are with social media, I'm not trying to make a commentary on social media. Too late. And this connectedness to all this information, all this fake news. Fake news. Hey, MAGA guy. Hey, I'm gonna leave you guys alone. I'm already confused. Yeah, I know.
Hey, boys.
Hey, ad lady. No characters.
Okay.
Yeah, it just needs to be us or me. You sell yourself, you have to allow that in. And we're in a place now in 2026 where there's so much information. We use AI, and we're going to use AI here again to shrink the distance between us, the space and time between us and the truth, or what we will create as our truth. Because we have full authority and agency until we don't, until we allow the vampire in. But we always have that control. And what happens after you let that vampire in of whatever truth you think they're going to bring, you lose control. And we're at the point where I believe a lot of people, especially in my life, all around me, have let a vampire into their minds that it's difficult to exercise or rid them of. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend. I'm not into vampire movies, so I don't know. How do you get rid of a vampire? I mean, is it garlic or something? Yeah, something like that. Or a wooden stake or silver bullet. That's for werewolves. Whatever. But on the meta, you let in an idea that becomes a truth. It kind of, it engulfs you. It kind of, it gets you right at the neck. And it sucks you in or something like that. And until we let the vampire in, we're in full control agency of our truth. Because we create that. It's like building blocks of Lego. That's why I love that analogy. That's a great one. It's a great analogy. Where you're on your belly, metaphorically speaking, building your own truth, your own, don't say that word. Okay. You are kind of building your own play, right? All the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players, right? Right, my lady? And you are kind of constructing this, looking outward at the world. And you're allowing your truth to manifest based on what you're perceiving and all the information you're getting. And a lot of times, I don't understand how people believe what they believe, but they do. They allow themselves to kind of be taken over by a demon or a vampire. I leave that there. Oh, God, Ben Affleck, yeah. Again, this character, talk about, what do you think about Ben Affleck's acting? I think it's mediocre, sorry, kid. You're kind of like, I put you in the world of Jerry Seinfeld. Sometimes it's like, I know you're acting. And it's obvious to me. That's difficult for me. I used to think about that with Keanu Reeves, but somehow after The Matrix, that changed. Boiler Room kind of almost changed it for me, where this scene, it's a famous scene. Where are you going with this? You'll see. It's the famous Boiler Room. If you don't know the movie, look it up. I don't have time to describe it to you. Essentially, it's like they sell a bunch of fucking fake stocks and stuff. We'll get into this in a second. I used to work at a job where we were doing outside sales, and I idolized this speech that he does to a bunch of new recruits. And basically what he's saying, and we'll go into this, we'll set this all up, is essentially people want to be sold. They want to believe because they're not sure. And well, you become the vampire essentially because they can't. Huh? You'll see. And you have to take control. It's like we're vampires, parasites. When you're in this type of sales, high pressure sales, where, 10-4-3 in, kid. I love you. Or I love you. You're the vampire and you're trying to gain access. And that's how I always felt. I always felt like in sales, certain types of sales, a vampire trying to convince people on something, selling them. But at the end of the day, and Ben Affleck's character, what's his name again? Jim Young, JY, talks about essentially they just want to be sold. They don't know what they know. That kind of the whole thing. We'll get into it. And there's also another thing. What's that? You'll say. This is where this kind of almost is going to feel like it's going off the rails because we're going to talk about some stuff that's kind of uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. Again, if you're quick to being offended, in other words, you're squeamish when the soul gets dissected. I believe people who are offended easily are giving up their agency and authority to others. They're kind of like realizing they're letting the vampire in, and then they're getting angry at the vampire for them being let in. What? Don't be offended. Look at this like we're two adults on our bellies on the floor playing like kids with Legos of thought and dissecting something that needs to be dissected. Something that I've never heard anyone talk about. And again, might be blasphemous. You might be offended. This is, it's awful. We need to dissect it because it helps you understand how things work. And we're going to talk, 9/11. And not in a way, it's not conspiratorial. I'm not going to tell you what you probably already know of who did 9/11. A bunch of hijackers, right? Yeah, something like that. Okay. Yeah, whatever. If you believe that. Okay. But just get on with it. All right, 12:48 in. Let's get on with it. Oh God, this is important. I have so many tabs because I don't know how to go through this. So let's just do it. Let's just do it. Okay. If I post this, I post this. If it doesn't come out good, we don't. Okay. It's simple as that. So Jim Young, he's in a movie called Boiler Room, right? Boiler Room. It's a fictional commodities firm or it's, they're selling stocks and stuff. It's they call it Boiler Room. Yeah. Just look it up. You'll understand. It's got J.T. Marlin. It's funny. It's kind of like J.P. Morgan. And he delivers a famous high pressure speech that we watched when we were in outside sales. It's like people emulated that. They loved this fucking guy. Ben Affleck's character was like the vampire of vampires for sales. And I could put Gordon Gekko up here, but Gordon Gekko is more the kind of the outside looking in when you talk Gordon Gekko of Greed is Good. This is kind of the inside looking out. It's dissecting what it's all about. And that's what the great thing about Boiler Room. It brings you into the main character is kind of, he knows he's got a talent. He's got the gift of gab. He could read energies. He's an energy guy, as a lot of them are. And, as are any vampires, they're energy guys or girls. And just get on with it. Okay. And the speech is, it's kind of, let them know what they're like. We need the best. You need to be the best. And it's almost like dare I say it, a boot camp, trying to like destroy these guys' egos, demonstrate his ego, destroy their ego, but then try to rebuild it back in their fashion, the way they want it. It's very boot campish, almost like, people going to the army. We've never been in the army. We've never. But there's a formula there. You don't have to go to the army to understand indoctrination. And that's one of the kind of underlying themes or overarching themes in this whole thing indoctrinating people, breaking them down a certain way, and then building them back up so that they can, well, believe. And he's trying to get these guys to believe at the beginning that they're not great. You have no fucking clue until I bestow my wisdom on you, right? I am great. You're not. And he goes through, but you can be. And he goes through this whole thing. It's a master class in aggressive sales motivation. And then money's greed is good. Money is what you're here for, kids. And there's this a thing. It's like, you say money, money can't buy happiness. He's like, look at my face. Look at my fucking face. Do I look happy? Is there something like that? It's hilarious. And he talks about being money hungry. That has to be your number one goal. Your money's your God, essentially, right? And that, if you say money's the root of all evil or it can't buy happiness, fuck you. I'm happy. All the people in there are happy. And there's this one scene where the main character goes into one of the guys' McMansions and there's no furniture. Yeah, it's funny. There's no furniture and they're like sitting in one. He's like, why is there no furniture here? He's like, yeah, stop asking questions. And he promises wealth and he guarantees that, listen, if you follow me, oh, I see. Now you see it. You follow me, you could be great because I'm great, right? You want to believe because you think you're this, you're really that. I'm not going to make you think you're that, but we could kind of pretend you're that with enough money. If money's your God and you could have all the money, then you're not God, but you could control and influence God. And basically, what he's saying without saying it is, even I could sell God if I had to. I could pitch God. That's an interesting take. Yes, he's so cocky, this character, that he's essentially saying without saying, I could even sell God, right? I could sell God on the earth or something like that. That's corny. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost like money's your God. God doesn't exist. Money's your God. And if you have all the money, you have all the God you need in your life, you should be happy, right? Money is love. And he tells you there's no such thing as a sales call. It's kind of like, there's no such thing as, it's like either you sell him on some stock or he sells you on basically go fuck yourself. Why you're not going to sell him. There's a sale every time. Right? The broker sells the client stock or the client sells the broker a reason they cannot buy. Oh yeah, it's better said. Yeah. In other words, you're in full control either way. If you don't succeed, it's your fault. Kind of true. He demands employees work intensively, stating that pikers, people that are, that are here just to kind of say that they work at a firm and kind of dress the part and act. No. You need to grind. And then this is it. The act as if. In corporate, that's called fake it till you make it. Act as if when you make a sales call, and in the beginning, none of the guys have made sales before, and they're passing the sales to other senior guys to close, so they're kind of setting them up. And it's like there's a concept of don't pass me wood. What can I make with wood? You know what I mean? Like I'm looking for gold. Send me gold. I shouldn't even have to close it by the time it gets to me. I should just schmooze it and put a bow on it. You should set it up for me. And it kind of, yeah. But act as if, like you've sold to 1 million people, as if you're God, essentially. As if you're the greatest salesperson ever. And you're indifferent. And there's, the FUJI Factors. We've talked about that. We've planted that seed. We're going to talk about that extensively in this whole episode. FUJI. And we'll talk about that. Fear of loss or FOMO, urgency, the Jones effect, and an indifference. And something we used to use in our sales techniques. That's why we idolize this fucking movie. I've watched it 1 million times. Holy shit. And then it was one of those things where you're with your sales team and everyone's like kind of like saying the lines out loud. We had them all memorized. It was insane. It was ridiculous. Talk about indoctrination. And you act as if you got the biggest dick, act as if you've got, all the money, act as if you don't need their money. You don't need them. You just happen to have called them, that kind of thing, right? It's nuts. You will make $1 million within 3 years of your first day of employment at JT Marlin. It's like, in some ways, he's not wrong. If they last that long, he's kind of not wrong. But what he's not telling them is, you're going to have to let a lot of vampires into your mind, kid. You're going to have to give up your soul. You're going to have to sell your soul to the devil. And you go to find out in the movie, the main character, I forget his name, and you feel great actor. Yeah, by all the actors, even this kid did pretty good in this one. Usually, maybe this was your Keanu Reeves moment. I'm not sure, but after that, I don't think G Lee. Oh God, G Lee. I don't think G Lee. G League, not quite. G Lee fortified your act as if mentality, kid. But I know why you went there. Anybody that tells you, doesn't fucking have any. That's funny, hilarious. And then again, a sale is made on every call. Either you sell the client on stock or he sells you. Yeah, again, this is well said. I think this is the way. They got it wrong before. Either you sell, whoever they is, you sell the client some stock, or he sells you on a reason he can't. Either way, a sale is made. It's who's going to close it. It's brilliant. I mean, the writing in this speech, it's epic level. Act as if you're the president of the United States. And this is well before Trump. How ironic. And then, he talks about it's transactional leadership, a transactional style of recruit for, on the rewards. It's all reward based and blah, blah, blah. And culture of greed and deception. And yes, Glenn Ross. It's people say that Boiler Room is kind of a derivative of that. And I say it's freebasing it. Oh, it's freebasing. What Glenn Ross is very artistic. This is just get to the fucking pop shot. Boiler Room is one long pop shot. And it's freebasing it for the audience to put them literally into the boiler room and feel that intense, especially the end scene. We won't go there. Again, it's been around since, I don't know, the early 2000s. I forget when this movie was made. 2000. It's still relevant today. Go watch it. I'm not going to ruin it for you. Let's just say it doesn't end well. But there is kind of like a do the right thing moment, which is something that was borrowed from the 90s. A symbol of corporate ego, blah, blah, blah. The siren song of money, the pyramid scheme, it's all a game. Life is essentially a pyramid scheme. But I don't have time to go there now, but you might get that context here. You're always selling yourself, folks. I mean, he's doing it here. He's doing essentially to them what they are supposed to do to the client. And that's the thing we learned in outside sales. That in getting ourselves to be recruited for the company we worked for, doing outside sales, the same techniques that we then learn and like, oh, that's it. That's how you got me. Okay. And now I got to get others to do it and build my team and then go out and do it. It's a whole pyramid scheme. Life's a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme. It literally is. And at the end of the day, you learn these techniques. It's a chop shop operation. Yeah. It's a high pressure. It uses cold calls to sell bogus stocks and make money. And before they realize it, it's too late. You've bought your house, your mansion, your cars, all that stuff. And well, you've valuated your soul because you sold it. You turned a blind eye to truth and compassion and all that other stuff. Courage, if you want to call it that. Because it doesn't take courage to do this. It just takes a blind faith and a greed that becomes your driver, your why. Greed becomes your why. And at the end of the day, your X and your Y start blending in. It becomes the same thing. You become hungry for money, and money becomes the only thing that powers you. And your Z, I don't know if there's even a Z there. Because you're supposed to have an enlightenment at the end. The whole idea is to never be enlightened to what you're doing and to what you are, or else the ruse ends. The play ends. And he's telling you this. Act as if. Don't be. Act as if. Put on a charade. And first, you have to put on the charade for yourself and believe this guy and let this vampire into your life. And then accept the role of what you're going to do. Make sense? Yeah, that's pretty good. Here, and we've talked about the sun, letting the light in, building your own experience, why you believe, blah, blah, blah. Jesus and Why do we believe on this? Blah, yada, yada. Hey, kids. What's this? It's a picture of Plato's cave. Yeah, go on. Plato's cave. It's an allegory. Essentially that we are here. On the left side here. People are putting on a show for us, right? Or life is. And it's as this is a very convoluted. I don't know much about Plato specifically. I know Plato kind of allegorically, not quite. I haven't gone deep into his writings and stuff, but what he said permeates a lot of literature and history and all sorts of stuff. This is way too complicated. There's a simpler way to say this. I think we just did. We kind of just did. More like the vampire analogy. And but what he essentially is saying here, we are here, stuck in a cave, forced to look here and pretend and make sense of this nonsense, this, dumbed down version of our reality. And there's someone putting that on. The real reality's out here. And there's the light, this light, this belief, essentially, is powering your perception. I don't get it. The real light is out here. This artificial light or natural, contrived light is causing it's causing a perception and causing. You build your own reality here and you're perceiving this and you're making sense of this. And then you add context and importance to this. You try to validate your own prison, your own escape room, which we talked about. This is almost like the escape room analogy. It's almost like an escape room analogy and a vampire. Plato was trying to say that the real world existence is out here once you escape the escape room. None of this is real. This is real. You're believing something that is an impediment between you and enlightenment. You need to break free of the chains. Ignore this bullshit. Understand there's something more important. Jesus was telling you this. Whether Plato intended this or not, I cannot prove it. He's essentially saying the exact same thing as Jesus in a different way. Essentially. Right, kid? Absolutely. And we allow this to happen. So real quick, the allegory. It's in the Republic. The effects of education on the human soul and the indoctrination of man and woman and beautiful baby. And you can say, well, we didn't chain ourselves here. No, but we could break these chains easily, though it doesn't look like it. And Plato says something along the lines of, chained prisoners, a group of people have lived in the cave since birth. They only face a blank wall. The shadows behind them is a fire. Between the fire and the prisoners, the puppeteers carry various objects, statues, and human animals, blah, blah, blah. And they make sense of it. The reality, because the prisoners have never seen anything else, they believe these flickering shadows are true forms of reality. And then, hey kids, they create their own reality, right? Through the perception that this is real. And then they let that into their minds. They indoctrinate themselves. One prisoner is freed and forced to turn around. Initially, the firelight is painful and disorienting. The outside world, as they are dragged out of the cave, are we that character? We kind of are. I'm just going to come out and say it. And this is why this whole pod series exists. I'm trying to tell you that this light, this fire, like Jesus said, like the upside down heart and that's corny. The real light is enlightenment. Not the fire that's within you that's allowing you to perceive life in a certain way and build a reality. And now you're confusing me. As they are dragged out of the cave, they eventually see the sun, the source of all light and life, and realize the shadows in the cave were merely illusions. How are you going to feel now? You were sold on something, and now, well, it's not real. Kind of like those fake stocks, kind of like in Glengarry Glen Ross. You're sold on a lie, and you allowed that vampire to come into your life. Now what? The enlightened individuals return to the cave to free the others. However, because their eyes have adjusted to the sun, they appear blind. and clumsy in the darkness. The remaining prisoners mock them and may even become hostile, preferring their familiar reality over the difficult truth. What you're saying is blasphemous. Fuck you. How dare you? They might get offended. They might pearl clutch. They might even kill them. Perception versus reality. What we perceive through our senses is often just a shadow of a higher, more perfected reality. The theory of forms. Don't get too scientific here. Education as a turn. Plato argues that education is not just putting information into a mind, but turning the entire soul towards the light of truth. What the fuck is going on here? Oh my God. What? All right. Again, this happened again. What the fuck? Here. We good? All right. I'm giving myself a clue. Because, yeah, this thing went, oh, fuck. Hopefully it recorded the whole time. We'll see. Either way. What we perceive through our senses is just a shadow. I'm going to say this again just in case it didn't record. They had just a hiccup here. Perception versus reality. We perceive through our senses just often a shadow. The theory of forms. Education is a turn. Plato argues that the education is not just putting information into a mind, but turning the entire soul toward the light of truth. You start one place. You have to end someplace else. Where you go from that is up to you. But there is a truth there somewhere. Are we recording here? Ah, damn it. Hold on. Yeah, this fucking computer. God damn it. Someone must not want us to say this. I've experienced 2 fucking hiccups here with the visuals, now the audio. Hopefully I could link this all together. This is fucking bullshit. What the fuck? Here. Let's give myself the clue of where to start. Here. Cool? Holy fuck. What's going on today? Jesus Christ. Let's move on. Bye, kid. Bye, kid. Yeah, this is the part that's going to hurt. 9/11. Because here's the thing, my friends. There's something that's interesting about courage. What is courage? We'll get to that in a second. I believe, before we do, courage is allowing yourself to go, or say it differently. Courage is stepping into the darkness and saying, I'll be the light. That's what courage is, folks. 33 minutes exactly in. Courage is understanding and accepting I'm going to be the light in the darkness. And I'm turning towards the darkness so I could light that bitch up. What shall be, shall be. I have the courage, the love powering me to be in control. To act as if none of this matters. As if this is just a game. As if this is just an allegory. And I'm the main character. That's what courage is. Which shall be, shall be. I'm going to act as if I'm going to survive. Regardless. I give in. I'm not welcoming the vampire into the house. I'm fucking, get the fuck out of my way. I need to go out of the house. So on 9/11, when you think of courage, think of the firefighters, right? Think of the firefighters in 9/11. This is where things, again, people, we need to go there. And when I think of, thank you, Twin Towers NYC on Instagram. These are images on the day, this one. We'll get back to that in a second. This image is, and many people reacted to it, haunting. And then I found out something about this guy. Interesting. By the way, what's 12/8/93? Is that an important date? I don't know. Numerology, whatever. All these firefighters, these people, scared shitless. I remember that day. We were in that job. Yeah, we were in that sales job. We actually sold on that day. Oh God, yeah. I am so ashamed of myself from that. We actually closed 2 deals that day. One of them, while the Twin Towers were burning in the background on the television, I closed a deal with a guy. And then celebrated it when I got, hey, act as if, right? The world's coming to an end. Hey, do you want to miss out on this deal? Blasphemous. One of the lowest days in our country, one of the lowest days in my soul for what I did. But you learn. And these are all pictures. People are scared shitless. I remember being confused. It was a weird energy in the air. And we weren't too far away from ground zero, maybe an hour and change away. I remember the phones stopped working. It's a whole thing. Again, we'll go into 9/11 another day. The interesting thing about these photos, all these firefighters are blurred. Except for that guy. We'll get back to that guy in a second. And maybe they're out there where they are, there's better photos, but isn't it poetic in a way that the firefighters are blurred? It's almost like they were already spirits, ghosts, they're souls. They're dead. Most of them, if not all. Well, one of them wasn't. And you see all these photos and people, and then the holy thing, it just brings back a lot of just bad memories. And we weren't even there. Imagine if you were there. It's just fucking crazy. But there's a poetry to the fact that these brave souls are going opposite the direction of the energy. Everyone's going the opposite way. They're going the other way. They're going into the darkness. That's courage, by my definition. But what did it take for these guys to convince themselves, sell to themselves to go and do it? Well, they had a job to do it. That means nothing. You could easily have said no. I mean, look at the aftermath, the pain that all these guys felt. Like, what the fuck? I mean, think about being the mother, I'm going to go there, of any of these guys that didn't make it out. Was it worth it, my lady? I'm tingling. Was it worth it to have your son die in this? Jesus? Was it worth it? It's a legitimate question. Sure, they died, they went out with a bang, a blaze of glory. Not trying to be, but was it worth it? Is your life better for this? I'm asking a legitimate question, and it might sound blasphemous, but this is the truth that you have to. What did you let into your house after this happened? How did you might not have. There might be mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers and families and friends that still cannot reconcile that. They cannot forgive themselves because they can't, Have you sold yourself on the fact that this was not just a tragedy for the world, for the country, but for yourself if you lost these individuals? Was it worth it? I can't answer that question. Because you have to kind of convince yourself and let go that individual made a decision to do their job, to be courageous, go into the darkness. And we're going to talk about that. They probably faced a tremendous amount of fear. Imagine showing up to imagine showing up to this. First of all, you're like, oh my God, we got to walk those fucking stairs. I mean, you don't think that they thought that? You think that every one of these firefighters was so like Jesus, like no fear, nothing, not going, oh my God, oh my God, I got to walk up these fucking stairs. And it's like, oh my, it's just, you know what I mean? You don't think they weren't human and they weren't thinking human thoughts and questioning, why don't we just get the people out? Why are we trying to stop the fire? The thing's going to come down anyway. You don't think there's one firefighter that thought that looked up and said, why are we going to go up and fight the fire? We weren't built for this. Why don't we just get them out and just get these people out of here? Again, I'm just asking simple questions, folks. You don't think I'm not going to try to get into be careful, kid. Listen, it has to be spoken about. This is part of the truth, greatest truth ever sold. These firefighters had to sell themselves on a truth. And this guy, we'll get to him in a second. He survived. He did. The only one that's clear in the photos. And the look on his face haunted me for years. And a lot of people. I mean, the look on his face is kind of like, hey, move out of the way. I got to go somewhere. Literally and metaphorically speaking, I need to go somewhere. I can't think about this. Please get out of my way. But be safe on the way down. I'm not thinking about you. I'm not thinking about me. I'm not thinking. I've already sold myself on this. Again, you could ask him what he was thinking. And I haven't heard any interviews. I don't know. His eyes tell me he's kind of like, oh, I don't have time to think. I just got to do this. I've already sold myself on this. There's darkness somewhere, and I need to be a light. I need to go. And it's crazy. I mean, look, oh my God. And then there's people that, there's firefighters that honor them by doing the walk. You know, they do and here, I think this is real photos again, blurred. These spirits, these souls, gone. Right? I mean, what a day. And the aftermath. Who knows what they breathed in. But this guy survived. He survived. Mike Kehoe was a firefighter assigned to the Ladder Company 6. He survived. Somehow he made it back down. Good for you, kid, but man, what you must be living with. I know if I'm in your shoes, I'm like, oh my God, a lot of my brethren, and I don't even know if there's women that die. I'll be honest, I don't know. If it was all men or if there's some women, probably there were some women. Some badass bitches. And they didn't make it. But he did. And you got to think to yourself, why the fuck did I? Then you got to sell to yourself why you lived and they didn't. Imagine that. How do you do it, kid? God bless you. And the famous scene. But when you're one of these firefighters, I can only wonder and pretend to say, like, what would convince me to do this? Why do you want to be a firefighter? Sorry, my NYPD, but the FD is a lot more, I'm not going to say a lot more brave or a lot braver, but they're all Davids fighting Goliaths. It's not, the enemy always has bigger weapons. It takes some balls to do what they did. But they fought fear. They had to have been fucking frozen. There had to have been some of them like, oh my, I don't know if I can do this. And some of them probably said, if I put myself at X, kind of a fear of loss. Oh, you're going to do, yeah, I'm going to FUJI Factor these fucking guys. These amazing guys. Because they're men and women, again, possibly. They're mortals. They're going to have a bunch of thoughts going through their heads, either on the way there or on the way up. They're going to fear of loss themselves. Oh, I don't want to miss out on this. This is what I was born to do. My grandfather was a firefighter. My father was a firefighter. This is, oops, sorry, kid. This is the penultimate. I mean, this is what we were born to do. I can't miss out on this. I'm ready. I was born for this. And others are probably like, fuck. Oof. I mean, do I really? I mean, I know I loved being a firefighter, and it's cool if you're fighting in a 4-story apartment in the Bronx, but this seems fucking crazy. What are we doing? Kids, what are we doing? It's at least one, and it doesn't make them any less brave, because bravery is just the silhouette of courage. We'll get into that real quick. What is bravery? The ability to confront fear, pain, danger, or uncertainty, acting in spite. Bravery is the vanishing point. That's what we see. We see bravery. The origin point is courage. What is courage? The ability to act, persevere, or make decisions despite experiencing fear, uncertainty, intimidation, or pain. Sounds a lot like bravery. It is. The origin point and the end point. What you have inside and what the world sees. But I argue that, and there's different types of courage. I don't have to argue it, but we talk about courage could be, the brave mother that has the courage to keep going with her family after the firefighter's dead, and keep raising that family, and the courage to put that behind her and raise the kids and put on a strong face. That's courage too. Their families had courage. Ordinary courage, which it seems kind of like seems like an oxymoron, but it's not. honest feelings or being true to oneself. Yeah, being true to oneself. Not selling yourself. Not being this to yourself. Not acting as if, just being. That's courageous. Just be is being courageous. That's what courage is what powers love. Courage is, if love is everything, God is love, love is God, love is everywhere, then you need to leave a space for love to be received. My friends, that space sometimes is dark. It's waiting for the light. And courage is turning towards the darkness and saying, I will be that light and meet the love there. Sounds corny, but think about what I'm saying. And that manifests in different ways. It's not just, soldiers. I could put soldiers up here. It's not just, like the brave principal at Sandy Hook that ran out to get in the middle of the shooter, risked her life. And so did the people around her. Moral courage, acting rightly despite the risk of it. Courage is not selling yourself. You just accept something. You accept life for what it is. And realizing, well, what shall be, shall be. I'm not going to act as if. I'm just going to be. Because this is all a game. This is a play. And if this is my swan song, if this is how it ends, so it shall be. Take my photo, remember me. Have some dipshit fucking 25 years later memorialize my energy. So maybe that my family could let go. Because it's part of the play. And I hit my role. I hit my mark. I met my timing. Because I didn't flinch. I won't tell you the fear and all the shit. And I had indifference. I'm like, oh man, it's just, yeah. I had questions. There was an urgency there. There was a Jones effect where maybe I didn't believe in it, but because I didn't want to let my guys down. I wanted to be like them. And you know what? We stick together. And yeah, I don't know these fucking people that are getting in my way as I go up there. Hey, be safe, but please get out of my way. I got work to do. You don't know what I'm doing. I mean, y'all can't do what I do. I got to keep up with my team because we're going to die together. We live together. We're going to die together. I'm not going to ever admit this, but I'm doing it more for them than for you because I know you're going to make it out okay. I don't know if we will. And I ain't going to let them die alone because I have a feeling that this ain't good. And you've got to think that they had that feeling. They felt that energy. It was impossible. Friends, before the big penultimate scene, the energy has to be moved to get everything in place for that scene to happen. Everything has to be moved into place. The energy, the rumbling on the stage and everything. You know something's happening. You could feel it, even if it's the slightest. You know this is going to happen. They felt that energy. That darkness was growing and they still went into it. They sold themselves on it. They had to have. They were the greatest salespeople that moment because you don't think some of them could have said, fuck this, I'm not going up there. And if you think that's blasphemous, that's human. They had doubts. They had fears. They said, fuck this, but I can't. He looked around and they probably looked into each other's eyes and said, guys, without saying it, this is it. This is what we trained for. You gonna turn around now? Like, I don't think so. And they sold themselves on, well, a truth. Not that they're going to make it out alive. That didn't matter. That didn't matter. And bravery is the vanishing point of the energy that starts with selling yourself on a truth. that what shall be, and I'm not in control. I'm letting go. I'm going to stop here because I'm kind of getting a little emotional. I don't know why. I need a moment. 5:19. I'm going to stop here. Okay, we're back. Except it's May 11th, 4:22 a.m. Yeah, I needed a break. This is a kind of the transition point from what we were talking before to what we're about to talk about. I was getting a little emotional, kind of getting off track. Understandably so. It's a pretty... oh, kid, sorry. I needed some seltzer. Come, continue. Okay. At least they know who's talking. Do they? Pardon me. So, we left off here with this gentleman. I'm actually glad we took a break because I actually took some time to really set up and think about what comes next. Not just in life, I was going to say. In life, well, we're always thinking. We're always thinking. But what really is bravery, courage, the whole thing, right? Courage is an emotion, right? Let's cover this again. Did we cover this? I don't remember. Let's do it one more time. Bravery is the ability to confront fear, pain, danger, uncertainty. You know, we talked about this is the vanishing point of what other people see. Courage is the origin point of the energy. To push past fear, uncertainty, intimidation, or pain. Well, my friends, where is this fear, uncertainty, intimidation, and pain coming from? It's not coming from you, the soul, the pneuma, the energy that's in the vessel. Because I'm about to prove to you that we are not this vessel. This whole pod series, the greatest truth ever sold. I'm not going to tell you what that truth is. You're going to put something there. And it's right. Whatever you put there, I have a definitive idea of what that is. I know exactly what that is. But ask yourself, not what am I, or who am I, but what is, I guess, where is I? Where are you? Are you in the vessel? Or are you someplace else? And who are you trying to convince? Because we just spent about 50 minutes talking about all these amazing... Hey, kids. Careful here. I will. Thanks, AI Jesus. All these incredible men and women and beautiful baby, whoever was there. And what they did, including this guy, against fear, they were working against something inside of them. Almost like the vessel was pushing back. And you have to ask yourself, what pushes back? What else is inside of you? Is there another entity we've talked about? I'm not trying to Freud the F out of this. Like conscious, subconscious, ego, super ego. I'll leave that for the crazy logists, the psychologists. But what is it that you have to convince yourself? Because I'm going to lay out here, and I'm going to have to be, this might go long, giggity, but I'm going to lay out here that in any given moment, it's you and something else in that vehicle. And you have to convince that thing to move on or to let go or to push past fear, because the energy, you're free flowing, but you happen to be trapped or secured in a vehicle. Just get on with it. Okay. So this guy, I'm into numbers, you think? And I said that this was 12/8/93. I looked closer. It's 12/8/98. I'm glad I had a moment because then I'm like, all right, hi, Google. Let's figure out what happened on December 8th, 1998. There was a massacre in Algeria. The Ghost Rider roller coaster was born. R. Kelly, hey, remember that guy? Hey. And Celine Dion had oh my God, I forgot about that. Had a song together. Oh my God, the home video butt crack. By the way, home video, that's such a 90s term. Hi, Blockbuster. Blah, blah, blah. And then like Leonid's meteor shower. Huh. Because I'm thinking to myself, in this game of life, or this allegory, if I was putting on a play, much like our girl Taylor, hey Taylor, I'd put some Easter eggs in there in case anyone wants to take it to another level. That's just how I do it in my work. Makes it fun. Gives you an extra little something at the bottom of the box, so to speak, to reach for. Little toy. Remember when oh my God, yeah. When cereal boxes had toys at the bottom of them? How many times did you chomp on a toy? Adults who didn't realize your kid never took the thing out. Or maybe, oh my God, this is such a blast from the past. Or your kid would go in there and there'd be like 3 boxes of cereal that were open. And oh my God, we've done this. We used to do this. We would empty it all out into a big ass bowl, take the toy out and put the cereal back and never eat it. Mom would get so pissed. Well, I found this toy at the bottom of the bowl of what happened here. You ready? Leonid meteor shower. This thing. Why is it significant? Again, you either believe or you don't. It's either a beautiful embellishment or it isn't. Do with what I'm about to tell you before we move on what you will. This can mean nothing or it could be something. I'm just going to lay out some facts. That was December 8th, 1998. A cavalcade of meteors coming down from this Leonid meteor shower. And what is that? Well, it's something called the 55P, 55, interesting, Temple Tuttle, marking the beginning of a period of enhanced meteor activity from 98 to 2002. What happened in 2001? We just talked about it. A significant, spectacular astronomical event. In 98, the event was widely studied. Crucial data on the meteoroid streams, blah, blah, blah. What does this matter? Well, the Leonids are named because they appear to radiate from the constellation Leo. Where the Sphinx faces, supposedly, or tried to face. Every 33 years. 33. Yeah. Thanks, kid. You got it. You're nailing it. Oh, kid. So what does this matter? Well, what's the Temple Tuttle? It's the thing that basically is associated with this meteor shower, blah, blah, blah. It was studied by some guy named Temple. It takes approximately 33.13 years to orbit the sun. So what does that mean? Well, in the grand play of this, something in the background that if you pay attention to might add some color to this play. Well, let's add some color to this play. Is there any astrological significance to the Temple Tuttle comet? Yes. It's often it holds astronomical significance primarily due to its role as the parent body of the Leonid meteor shower. In astrology, comets are generally viewed as powerful, dramatic messengers of change. Think of, yeah, the star when I was born. Yeah, the Magi. You talk about it in another pod. I do. Good luck, guys. Break a leg. Messengers of change. Every 33 years. And the Leo Constellation Association. Astrologically, this connects the comet to Leo think creativity, leadership, heart-centered consciousness, drama, and personal expression. Historically, comets were seen as warnings or omens of immense change, often bringing new ideas, new thinking, or one more time, kid. Changing things up, disrupting the status quo. A wake-up call that forces humanity to deal with specific issues. And live to tell about it. Interesting. But before we move on, Leo constellations, primarily known as the cosmic embodiment of leadership, courage. I just tingled, me too. Creativity and theatrical flair. It represents passion, vitality, and the natural affinity for the spotlight. And then you go down here. Brightest star in Leo as the royal star. It is considered a fortunate star that bestows leadership and success. Or dare I say it? Where is it? Bravery. Wow. Thanks, kid. Got the Easter egg. God bless you. We move on. So in my book, The Socialist Manifesto 101, and let me read a quick passage on courage. It's only 3 pages. It's part of a chapter of courage. There's stuff before and after this, but we'll go here. How a socialist views change. Again, not like Mondami. Not Mondami. Hey, kid. Hey, what's up? I'm kind of getting this, but not really. Keep doing your thing. Thanks, MAGA guy. Courage is putting the plan above all else, even yourself. It's accepting that we are all energy inside, part of a collective consciousness. We'll get into this in a second. Because what is a conscience? There's a whole definition for that, and you could science the fuck out of that, and psychoanalyze the fuck out of that. The way I describe it, a conscience is basically a mirror inside your soul. Somewhere where your energy relies, like the mirror inside, the rear view mirror that you look at, or the mirror that's on that thing you flip down in the vessel, just to take a look at yourself and remind yourself that you're not the only one on that road. There are others. And I never understood that we're a collective consciousness. It never made sense until I realized that if you replace vessel with, I don't know, or car, vessel, with ships on an ocean, and if we're in control, we're on a stage. We're all on the same stage, and we're playing roles on there. We're in vessels, but in reality, we're the ocean. We're not the ships on top of it. Even though we're perceiving our life, our world, our reality from the eyes of the captain on the ship. We are the ocean. We are collective, and you can't separate the waves or the currents from one another. They're all the same. That consciousness works, and a conscience is a reminder. Hey, kid, whatever you do to others, you're doing to yourself. Don't forget that. That you poison the water, it's the same water you're going to be drinking or flowing through. That consciousness works with the universe is designed to create the reality we experience for one reason. Courage is the full acceptance of that design, that plan, that reality, letting go of the wheel and saying, I'm ready for what's next. I'm tingling, yeah. I'm ready for what's next. What shall be, shall be. You're on, kid. Break a leg. Even when you don't fully understand what's happening, you feel the pull toward the light and you submit to it. Not as surrender, but as duty. As duty. Your commitment to be a catalyst for love and not an impediment to it. Let it flow, kid. You can't stop it. Don't get in its way. Align with it and find your way towards the end. Trust in it. Throw the oars over the side of the boat or the vessel. Let go of the steering wheel, kid. You will not be led astray. So long as you have a GPS. It's understanding that you might not understand yet, but at some point when you're ready, the reason will come, the why will click. Until then, it's faith in motion. It's faith in motion. It's courage. Just like the bridge analogy, you step because you trust. There's a bridge analogy I talked about in a previous chapter about Harrison Ford in, I believe it's The Last Crusade in Indiana Jones, where he's got to there's a chasm and he's told there's a bridge there, but he can't see it. He's got to feel it and just trust it, and he walks across it. I do a whole thing about it. One day I'll put this book out. You step because you trust it'll be there. Courage tells you the reason validates the fear, the anxiety, right before the commitment to proceed, the commitment to keep going. Please get out of my way. I've got work to do, but God bless you and be safe on the way down. Maybe one day I could tell my story. This doesn't mean acting without thought. The cheat code always applies. You weigh the energy, you choose with intention, but at some point the decision condenses to binary, this or that, 1 or 0. Courage is the act of committing to the one choice that always was meant to be. It was always meant to be, folks. It was always meant to be. That's how the play was written. Because there was never two. Once you open that box, Schrodinger's cat isn't both dead and alive. It's alive purring in your lap because you finally had the courage to look. So is courage about letting go, or is it about letting in? It's choreography. It's a dance. You let go to flow. Corny but true. You throw the oars over the side and just enjoy the ride. You let the beat drive you. You let the energy of the universe guide you from within. This is where the socialist view shifts the lens. Courage is not just a personality trait. It's an energetic responsibility. It's your soul aligning with the universal current instead of fighting it. Going with the flow because you trust where it goes. Didn't mean to rhyme. But who's got the time? It's the willingness to trust that you're part of something bigger. An interconnected web of light. Something that... where every step you take toward love strengthens the whole. You choose to turn toward the light, even if it blinds you from seeing the outcome. Right, kid? The outcome. The outcome. Because you know it's meant for you. You let the light pass through you to shine on your fate, your destiny. You get out of its way. If there is a grand plan and you believe you are part of it, then you have one job to do. Hit your mark, kid. Or as Bill Belichick would say, do your job. Right, Tommy? This is why courage feels different than action. Action can be mechanical. Action can be easy. Courage operates on an energy plane. It's esoteric. It's not always logical. Sometimes it won't make sense to anyone, even you. But deep inside, you know it to be true. Semi-intentional rhyme. Courage is putting your why, your purpose ahead of your X. The journey ahead of the vessel. Because Z is the end point, not the X. You got somewhere to go, kid. Don't you stop. It's fully committing to the purpose even when the path terrifies you. Because if something isn't worth doing, it won't demand courage. And if it's easy, where's the risk? Where's the growth? We sensationalize courage in Hollywood, polish it into trophies and honor it with rituals. But at the end of the day, courage is simply just you being you. You remind yourself, I'm the driver, not the vessel. And I need to get somewhere. By hook or by crook, I'll get there. Believing, and I'm not going to get in my own way. Nothing's going to stop me. I've got a role to play. Believing in who you are and daring to face the darkness so something greater can break through. If love is light, the purest form of energy powering the universe, well, keep going. Then courage is the act of turning toward that light, accepting it fully, even when it blinds you to what's coming next. And that's the socialist truth. Courage is the soul's kinetic energy, love in motion. It's saying what shall be, so I'm just going to be, and I'm cool with that. Interesting. So I had a conversation, wow, kid. Yeah, we wrote that about 1.5 years ago. So let's get into this real quick. Hey, kid, I talked to ChatGPT. And what I'm baking into here, and what we're trying to figure out, we started with selling. Started with this guy. Now we're going to talk about what's going on inside of you. And again, take this not with a grain of salt. Leave the salt aside. You should have enough salt inside of you. Don't let it all go. Take it with childlike wonder, but challenge it. Because you're going to challenge it anyway. Because there's something inside of you, whether it's you or something else, that always challenges. Who are you convincing, folks? Because the greatest salespeople on earth, and I'm not saying I was one of them, but I was pretty damn good and still am if I want to sell. It's that conscience, that mirror thing that gets in the way. They know that you ultimately have to convince something inside of you, yourself, or something else that's with you. That's kind of like your consigliere, something is guiding you, trying to protect you, trying to, and you have to convince that thing. You have to manipulate something inside of you. Always. And I'm going to talk about that. And the great salespeople, if you want to call them great, at least at what they do, not who they are, they know how to manipulate that. They know how to mess with that because they know what you're trying to do to yourself. Again, there's a sale happening 111 in every time, in every moment. Either the salesman is selling you or you're selling back on them after you've sold yourself. Whatever truth you're trying to put there. And there's a number of factors that get in the way. We talked about the FUJI factors, but there's something else that those factors manipulate inside of a human being. Let's go with it. Can you help me with a quick project? Sure, my friend. Absolutely. Okay, well, first I want to make sure we use the words efficiently, blah, blah, blah. And I say, look, keep your words tight. I need to try. I'm lining up two things. One is the 7 deadly sins. There's a better word for that. And the other is what we used to call in sales, at least around my sales circles, the FUJI factors. They were essentially sales techniques. In other words, what is a deadly sin? It's when you go against the programming of the vessel. Folks, I'm going to break this shit down. You'll never look at this the same again. I guarantee it. They were essentially sales techniques that we would use to get customers to buy now and close a deal. Those factors are based on a bunch of well-known human behaviors. Let's elaborate further. FUJI meant fear of loss, FOMO, fear of missing out, urgency, Jones effect, and indifference. And I might be missing one or two, but these were the 4 important ones. We use these all the time. The last one I always took as meaning that we, the salespeople, should show indifference, while the others were more trying to impart them on the customer. It was sleazy and vile at times, the way people talked about it, as if we were dealing with children or puppets, as if, for fuck's sake, as if, just the thought of it makes me cringe, even today. But I'm sure these factors are still being used today and probably on a much more insidious level than we ever used it, right? Government. What I need to do is, what I'm about to show you is how people get controlled and how you control yourself. This is the ball game, folks. I put it at the end for a reason. And this might go long for a reason. Because if you made it this far, you're going to get the secret. It's what you do with it determines the value of it, of this information. Remember, it's information, knowledge, wisdom. Information is X, potential energy. Knowledge is what you do with it, the Y. You put it into work, you test it. And wisdom is the enlightenment, the Z. X, Y, Z. I'm just giving you X. Do with it what you want. What I need to do is clearly, concisely, and accurately define each of them and then match them up directly with the 7 deadly sins. In other words, why people fall for them and let themselves be persuaded. I have a belief that once the salesperson successfully connected the sales factor to a deadly sin or two, the customer was hooked and wanted to be sold so badly. Why do you believe? Where is it? Why do you believe? Because you want to. Remember, where is I? Where are you? That they would close the deal themselves, or at least that was the belief. And here's the list. FUJI factors are the sales triggers. 7 deadly sins are the emotional doors those triggers enter through. Like a vampire that you let in. See how this all comes together? This is pretty brilliant, kid. Is it? I'm not going to put a Y there or a Z. Just an X or a number of them. So fear of loss, FOMO. Making someone afraid they'll miss out, lose status, lose opportunity, or regret waiting. Envy. You're like, and again, there's 7 of them. So a few of them, they operate in multiple channels. Just let me get through this, folks, before you push back. Because you could probably put greed there as well. You can. Other people are not getting something I'm not. What the fuck? I deserve that. Why not me? Urgency, creating pressure to act now before time, price, access, or availability disappears. You're gonna recognize this in advertising. Hey, girl.
Hey, boys, real quick.
Hey, good morning, ad lady.
Good morning, boys. Looking good.
Oh, thanks. That comp thing. Yeah. This is quintessential advertising. What you're talking about here is like the holy grail of advertising. And essentially, you're just giving up the game. The sad thing is, even if you give up the game, people are still falling for it. Why? Because they want to believe. And even though you're going to tell them this, and it's kind of like Tommy Brady. Love Tommy Brady. Oh, my God. Oh, girl. He could telegraph the play and say, look, I'm going to throw the ball or I'm going to run it, and you're still not going to stop it. You know what I'm saying? Act as if. Gotta go. Bye. Break a leg, kids. Bye. I love her. Yeah, me too. Greed. I need to grab this before it's gone. Jones effect. Using comparison status, social proof. Anyone know what I'm doing here? No? Okay. Or peer pressure to make someone want what others have. Pride. I don't want to look lesser than them. Again, my energy is focused on the energy on the outside and trying to pull that in, as opposed to being internally motivated, driven, or just be, right? Indifference. The salesperson acts detached, scarce, or unconcerned, making the customer. This was a superpower, folks. I mean, imagine spending an hour or two with a customer and going through all the reasons why this is going to benefit them. And at the end, it's like you pull it back out. You just knock down your whole defense or your whole offense, I guess. You just knock it all down and say, yeah, fuck it. You pull the ball back. Yeah, maybe you don't want this. It is the biggest superpower to be able to do that confidently because people can see through it. But if you do it right, oh boy, they'll lust for it. Man, if he doesn't care, I mean, he just genuinely doesn't give a fuck. I need to care. I need to give a fuck. Uh-oh. I want what doesn't seem to want me. But I was shown it. I saw the sign. I got to do it. Expanded sin connections. Fear, loss, FOMO, the envy. This works because people don't just fear missing out on the thing. They fear watching someone else get it. The hook. You don't want to be the one who misses this. Don't be a dumbass. Don't watch it pass you by. Envy says, why do they get it and I don't, right? Urgency, the greed. It turns desire into panic. It tells the customer, it preys on our greed. Not just for money, but for status, for knowledge, for an experience, for what we believe that we deserve. Go figure. It tells the customer there's not enough time, not enough supply. The hook is scarcity. This deal won't be here tomorrow. The greed says, I need to secure mine before someone else gets it. Again, remember what a conscience is, folks. There is no someone else. There is no them. There's only us. Jones effect, pride. It's pure status manipulation. Be like the Joneses, right? The family on the block that has the fancy house, fancy car, and you're like looking at your fucking house going, oh, fuck. What are they doing better than me? What the hell? This game sucks. Why do they have a higher score than me? I work just as hard. It uses neighbors, friends, competitors, influencers, or people like you as mirrors. Hey, this other guy is going to buy Faro Tech. So if you want him to get rich and not you, that's fine. I'm just going to, right when I hang up the phone with you, I'm going to call someone else. Get it or not, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just doing my job. Oh, really? The hook is the ego. Everyone else at your level already has this. I deserve to be seen a certain way. I deserve that. I'm at that level. What? Nothing. Lust. Indifference creates pursuit. The salesperson pulls back. He pulls back that football. No, he's not running it up the middle. He's just going to hold on to it. Or is he going to fucking throw it deep? Acts unbothered. Makes the customer want to win the sale instead of being sold. They make the right decision. The hook is desire intensified by distance. No pressure. This may not be for you. You don't want to make $1 million in your first 3 years of JT Marlin. Yeah, then whatever. I got other recruits that are going to sit in that chair. Don't worry about it. But don't waste my fucking time. Lust says, I want it more because it feels just out of reach. And then there's the other ones, gluttony, sloth, wrath. More is better, bigger packaging, premium tier, bundle. You want it all. I want it all. I deserve it all. Why not? I work hard enough. This will make life easier, the sloth, convenience, shortcuts. Yeah, that's what we did in banking. Make your life easier, more convenient. Yeah, let me do it, or let the computer do it. Yeah, you don't need to. You got your life to live. Let the car drive itself. Autonomy. What can go wrong, right, Elon? Nah. Wrath. Oh, is that a railroad crossing? Don't worry about it. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Okay. Wrath. You've been cheated, ignored, or disrespected, right, Mr. Trump? They're out to get you and me. Mostly me, but kind of you too. Whatever. You too? Yeah. Bono? Yeah. In the name of love or wrath. Whatever. Anger-based selling, grievance, marketing, revenge by anyone? No. Clean punt, whatever. I don't need a thesis. I got it, kid. Thanks. If I had to, where would you put the remaining 3 sins? Gluttony goes with urgency. Get more now before it's gone. Sloth, indifference. Maybe this isn't for you. But it's comfort, it's relief. You don't have to worry about making money because this thing's making money for you. You're gonna be a rich kid. He says to that doctor. Well, at least the other character does. Imagine these overworked doctors who make a lot of money but can't live life, and then they're getting schemed into buying stock to get more money, so they don't have to work. It's a whole thing. Wrath. They're taking your chance. This is meant for you. You're meant. Fuck you. I deserve that. And here it is. Cleanest way to say it. Okay, say it for me. FOMO sells through envy. Then sharpens into wrath. Urgency sells through greed, then balloons into gluttony. The Jones effect sells through pride, with envy riding shotgun. Indifference sells through lust, while sloth looks for the easiest emotional shortcut. Well said, ChatGPT. Once you link up the two, the trigger with the sin, what psychological factor or phenomenon becomes the catalyst for each? Not sure I'm saying it right. You kind of were. It is as if the sales trigger is X, the deadly sin is Y, then what would Z be? Oh, you are saying it right. I am. X is a sales trigger. Y is the inner weakness, the sin door. Z is a psychological catalyst that turns pressure into action. What comes next is a new state, a new experience. Or enlightenment. You realize you got had. Buyer's remorse. The trigger pokes the sin. The catalyst makes the customer justify the choice. And I'm not going to it's all here. Folks, it's not just in sales. It's how you live your life. You're doing this to yourself constantly. So ask yourself, who am I? I was going to say, where am I? In this vessel, am I really in control? Or is something controlling me within the vessel? Imagine that. That's insane. Or is that part of the programming, part of the play? Trigger plus sin plus catalyst equals self-sale. It's not persuasion, not logic, not truth. It's just justification. A reason you give yourself why you want to do something or experience something. Can we speak further about self-justification? I believe that everything we do is self-justification. Here we go, kids. On some level, pay attention. It is as if we are selling to ourselves all of the time. Right, kid? Even you had doubts. I could see it in your eyes. So how do we turn this now into a scenario where we use all of this to explain how someone sells themselves? In other words, let's talk about having courage to do the courage to do something where your life or maybe health may be in danger. Let's use skydiving or bungee jumping as an example. The part of the brain, left brain maybe? That's you, kid. It is. Where are you? I'm riding shotgun. Continue. Oh, that works on so many levels. It does, but I'm on my level. Just stay on yours. Keep talking. It might shoot all this cortisol and adrenaline through the body, the right side of the brain, the free thinking and daring side, to stop it from proceeding. How? Does the right brain win out? Because the passenger, not the driver, is the one that should be in control of the experience. Yes, this is the great pivot. Self-justification is the internal sales pitch that turns fear into permission, lets the vampire in, gives it permission. We're almost always selling ourselves a reason to do what we already want. Fear, avoid, crave, believe, whatever. Fear brain, this could kill us. Desire brain, this could change us. Self-justification, this is worth the risk. We talked about this before, right, folks? We talked about this. I don't know what's going on here. We talked about this before. Yeah, we talked about this before. That last line is the close. It is worth the risk. I'll do it. Put me down for 400 shares or whatever the fuck it is. The left brain, right brain framing is used as a metaphor, but it's what is metaphor if not to think or convince yourself on stuff? But it's not literally that clean. It's better to say the survival system says no. The meaning-making system argues back. No, go down that road. I want to see what's down there. No, we've got to go that way. No, come on, real quick. We got plenty of time. We're ahead of the curve. There's no traffic. We'll find our way back in. You know what I mean? Start convincing yourself. Why do you have to convince yourself? You are you. Are you not? Who else is in there, folks? Who else is in there? But right, Joe Rogan? You got the general inside of you. Is there? Yeah, not like the insurance, but even Joe Rogan said there's a general inside of him yapping at him, yelling at him to do stuff. Well, who's in charge, kid? The passenger or the driver? You got two people in that vehicle then. Only one steering wheel. How the daring side wins. It wins by changing the meaning of fear. Fear says this is danger. Self-justification says, no, this is courage. This is courage. Fear says you might die. Self-justification says this is exactly why it matters. Oops, sorry, kid. I was born for this. This is why I trained. This is my moment on the stage. Fuck off. Get out of my way. I got somewhere to be. By hook or by crook, I'm going to get there. Fear says stay safe. Self-justification says safety is not the same thing as living. I got to live. Or actually, I got to allow them to live. Because that's what I do. And I couldn't live with myself if I didn't at least give it a shot and give it all that I got. Right, kid? Can you live with this moment? Knowing what happened? Of course you can, and you better. You did nothing wrong. At least not in that moment. X is the trigger, the cliff, the plane door, the countdown, the harness, the height. Y, the inner drive, the pride, freedom, pride. Freedom, thrill, growth defines purpose, identity. This is why you live. This is the experience. Life. Live it for the experience. Let's go, kid. Self-justification. I am the kind of person who does hard things. I'm the guy that goes up while they go down. They zig, I zag. That's my superpower. And I'm here to show it to you. This is how the person sells themselves. The body says, nope, absolutely not. In the skydiving, we're not jumping out of a perfectly good, and it talks here, blah, 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 right? Danger's no longer a reason not to jump. It becomes the reason the jump has value. It's that tingle that you get inside. The self-justification is not always bad. It can manipulate us into buying junk, chasing status, ignoring truth. Again, it's letting the vampire in. What happens next? Oh boy. Keep watching. It could also help us become brave. The difference is whether the justification serves ego or growth. Are you doing it for yourself or them? Only you know, unless you reveal it. Okay, I'll read this. But yeah, I was going to say, come on. We don't need ChatGPT to do the podcast. But yeah, this was actually clever. Sales works because it teaches us how people are persuaded. Kind of like puppets or directed. But the deeper truth is that we are all selling to ourselves all day long. Every choice needs a story. Should I point at it again? Nope, we're good. Every fear needs a counter argument. Every desire needs permission. Self-justification is the pitch we make to ourselves before we act. We don't just buy products, we buy permission. And most of the time we sell it to ourselves first. Most of the time or always? Always. So what you are saying, correct me if I'm wrong, is that if it is actually more like the left and right brain are in the driver's seat and the gauges in the vehicle are going mad and buzzing off the chain with the warnings, but somehow they find a detente. Did you spell that right? Yeah, I think so. Whatever. I think there's an E at the end, but whatever. And I was typing quick. Rationalize the pursuit of or endeavor. Who is the salesperson and who is the one being sold in this scenario? I'll wait. Yes, that's closer. Not left brain, right brain. I like this better. Passenger seat, driver's seat. The whole vehicle is moving towards a choice while the dashboard is screaming warnings. It's danger, risk, pain. Danger, Will Robinson. Uncertainty, possible death, bad idea. But the driver does not simply ignore the warnings. The driver interprets them. That is key. You're always in control, folks. Always. And he knows that. Act as if you're the one that's in control, but it's always them. They have to say yes. You can't force yourself into the house. You are the vampire. You need to gain permission. And there's ways around it. The same warning light that says stop immediately can say proceed carefully. This matters. Who is the salesperson? You tell me, folks. I'll put a blank space there. The meaning maker is the salesperson. Oh, okay. That is the part of you that builds the story around the action. It says this isn't stupidity. This is courage. This is courage. This isn't danger. This is growth. This isn't fear. This is proof that I'm alive. The salesperson is the inner narrative or narrator. Who is being sold? The survival self is being sold. The one in the passenger seat, folks. That is a part of you saying absolutely not. This could hurt us. The survival self needs convincing before it allows the body to proceed. That's the driver. Ask yourself, who the fuck is driving your vehicle? Is it you or is it something or someone else? My friends, it's also you. It's always you. But somehow, ... We'll get into what's on the other end of those dots in a second. So it talks about, this is what the internal sales looks like. The alarm system, all the gauges go crazy. This is dangerous, Will Robinson, if you know the boomer reference. The salesperson, the driver, meaning maker, this danger has value. Oh, excuse me, the salesperson. I was going to say you get that wrong. It's the passenger selling to the driver. This danger has value. The customer, survival self, decision gatekeeper. This is the driver. This is the biological AI inside of everybody in your vessel. The autonomous car. Convince me this is worth it. The close, self-justification. I accept the risk because it serves who I want to become. Or at the end of the day, motherfucker, I'm in control. You don't exist unless I'm here. I'm more than the passenger. I'm the energy that powers this experience. Fuck off. I'm taking control. I don't need you anymore. Because I am. The cleanest version. The salesperson is the story. The customer is the fear. The product is the action. The close is the permission. That's the whole machine. Okay, this is great. I think you've led us to the perfect place for me to unveil my Uber thesis. In socialism, S-O-U-L. Not Mondami. Thanks, kid. You're doing great. I'm following along. Is that a good thing? Oh, come on. The main belief is that we are spirit. We are pneuma. We are not the vessel we are in, but a spirit that is connected to that avatar from the outside, but with a view from inside the vehicle, or from the eyes of the captain on the ship, and a direct connect to all the sensors and gauges to make the trip feel super real and impactful. It's just a play, kids. All the world's a stage. There's a better way to say it. Within the vehicle, there are two things to help us in our journey: a driver and a GPS director. That driver is what I call the biological AI. It is the left brain, the concierge or consigliere, the one who is tasked with showing us around and ensuring that our journey is impactful and fulfilling, but safe and without harm or as close to it. It's the one that's helping us process the experience, folks. It's no different than a computer, the one that I'm on now. You might say, well, then what's the GPS? Well, hey, kids. Hey, kid. You're doing great. Thanks. We are here for an experience, life. Live it for the experience. The spirit doesn't know better until it does. It is incumbent upon the consigliere, the left brain, to teach us, guide us, direct us, but we always have the final say. We are the passenger, the customer, if you will. See where I'm going here? We're really the customer, even though we tend to think we're the salesperson. We're really the one being sold all the time, if you will. See where I'm going here? We have a unique and intimate relationship with the driver. Hopefully that makes sense. The free-thinking, free-feeling, innocent, and adventurous spirit searching for an experience sometimes has to be convinced against doing things that can end or compromise the experience early by the left brain. You sure you want to do this? Like when you go to delete a file. Are you sure about that? They sometimes have to overrule the guidance and rectify or sell themselves on it to somehow, for lack of a better phrase, feel better to live with it. To live with it. Does this all make sense? Makes a lot of sense. Sales psychology, self-justification, socialism, the human experience. The socialist vehicle model. In socialism, we are not the vehicle. We are the pneuma, the spirit, the passenger, the experiencing self. The body's the vehicle. The nervous system is the dashboard. The senses are the gauges, and the brain is the biological AI. And the left brain logic system, the metaphorically speaking, is the driver GPS consigliere, essentially the concierge. The one helping us through this experience. Its job, it's not to own the journey. Its job is to help us survive it, interpret it, navigate it. Like playing a video game, folks, where the game reminds you what can happen if you go down that path. The spirit wants experience. The biological AI wants to continuity. By the way, there's a better way to say this, but this helps you understand what a biological AI. It is kind of artificial because it's not you. Remember folks, I is the only truth in your universe. What else is next to it is just a mirror of it. What is AI in real life? It's just a mirror, right? Gemini, it's a twin. It's artificial. And I'm arguing that part of inside of you is equally artificial because it's left behind and it disintegrates back into the earth when you're gone. That vessel goes away. And all the quote unquote knowledge goes with it. That enlightenment goes with you. Let's see what happens. Let's not die finding out. Who is selling whom? In this model, the biological AI is often the salesperson. It is trying to sell the spirit on caution, restraint. See, now it's flipping it. It's selling back and forth. There's a sale on every phone call. Go back. Kid, you're nailing it. You either sell them on the experience or they sell you on a reason why you shouldn't do it. That's fucking life. It's all sales. Sometimes the spirit becomes a salesperson. It sells the biological AI on courage, risk, love, purpose, adventure, sacrifice, meaning. I'm here for a reason, for an experience. I need to experience, kid. And the biological AI says, no, kid. We'll get there. The end zone is there. We don't have to go and keep throwing Hail Mary shots. We could ease our way down the field. Football analogy. And take advantage of opportunities when they arise. The road might have traffic, but there's going to be detours and ways around it. Let's work together. And it talks about here. The big idea, and we're going to be ending this soon. The self-justification is the negotiation between the spirit that wants to experience and the biological AI that wants to protect the experience from ending too soon. It's a yin and yang. It's a balance. That is powerful. I'm not going to say that's true. That's up to you, folks. Be careful, be wary of anyone that tries to sell you a truth or say that it's true. I am the only truth in your universe, not me, you. Pointing back at you. The second you allow someone else to show you, to show you what truth is and define your truth, you're in a fantasy world. It's as if. And just because there's an if in life, kid, corny, doesn't mean it's real. You should be the one putting on the play, not someone else. Self-justification is not just a flaw. It's the internal sales process of incarnation. Damn, that's the line. I think that line is up here. That's the line. Remember that. But yeah, sure. That's the line. Whatever. Instead of connected to the avatar from the outside, but with a view from the inside of the vehicle, we are spirit connected to a biological avatar, experiencing the journey from the inside of the vehicle so the ride feels real, intimate, dangerous, beautiful, and consequential. We are not the vehicle. We are the spirit inside the ride, connected to every sensor so the experience feels real enough to matter. I've already said it. Oops. Fuck. Sorry, kids. We are pneuma, the spirit, the passenger, the experiencing self. Never forget that. Life is the experience of a spirit riding inside a biological vehicle, guided by survival-based intelligence that tries to keep the journey going. But the spirit still holds the final authority. You have permission. You have agency authority until you don't. Every major decision becomes an inner negotiation between safety and meaning, fear and purpose, survival and experience. I was going to say here's my question. How many of the firefighters from September 11th do you think had that come to me moment where they looked at themselves and said, how do I sell this to myself? And this is where we end here, folks. This is the kind of, I started this whole thing from this thought. How many of these guys said, holy fuck, what are we doing here? Ah, damn it. Oh, sorry, kid. Thanks, Twin Towers NYC. Well done. How do I sell myself on this? This is cray-cray. What are we doing? I got to believe that many of them were scared shitless, and some might have even doubted their own bravery and will. I know I would have. I can't imagine what might have gone through all their heads. Courage is complicated, and bravery, well, it's merely the afterthought. After you're done thinking, bravery is easy. Courage is the down payment and the collateral you leave with the soul before departing. I'll never fully understand courage. Maybe because it is made up of the very same building blocks that love is. I guess if you don't get it, but you just do it. I guess if you don't get it, but you just do it, that must be the point, right? I think honest answer, ChatGPT says, is probably all of them. Not in the same way, not in the same words, not as the same clean monologue moment, but it's, can I really do this? Am I really ready to die? Did you ask yourself that question, my friend? And now you're living. So your life should be easy now, right? Just saying. You faced your ultimate fear. 143 in, I love you too. What about my family? What about my family? You're not thinking about your family. You're thinking about something else. And that's why you win. Courage is not the absence of fear. That's the cheap definition. Courage is being fully present and still not getting. Courage is saying, you know what? It's a fucking, whatever. If this is, then it is. Let's go. I got to be up there with my guys. I cannot let them die alone. Fuck that. We either stand together or, well, we fall together. I am not afraid. No ego, no pride, no glory. Just love. Always love. Duty may be the uniform. Training may be the muscle memory, but brotherhood may be the force multiplier. But underneath it all, love is probably what paid the bill. The down payment. That you have to live with. Love for strangers. Love for the person trapped upstairs. Love for the firefighter next to them. Love for the oath, for the job, for the idea that another human life is worth risking your own. Right, kid? Is it worth it? You matter. And you matter enough for me to risk it for you. And maybe that's the whole point. Not that we weren't scared, but that somewhere inside the vehicle, with every alarm screaming, the spirit said, go. Go, kid. You're on. Break a leg. They're never going to forget it. They're never going to forget it. My friends, is it worth it? Is life worth it? Fake it till you make it. They'll never know the difference, right, kid? What shall be, shall be. As you like it. My friends, that's the end of this pod. And we might have one more episode to sum this whole thing up. What do you think? Oof, good. Yeah. I just channeled something. Is it blasphemous anymore, folks, or do you get it? Have I sold you on something, or have you kind of allowed the permission for this to come into your house and to create a potential truth that might be blasphemous at first, but then you cannot shake of what you are inside and what this whole fucking thing is? Listen, I've got to go. If you come this far, God bless you. Thank you. This is a long pod for a reason. It needed to be. And it's 2 pods in one. I leave you with one question. Not where are you, or what you are, or why. It's what comes next. Because once you realize how this whole thing is put together, and you're in control, are you ready to take the steering wheel? Are you ready to guide yourself? Because if not, someone else is doing it. Thank you, my crow friend.
You
We will end.
have reached the end. Game
147.
over.